guys, welcome back to Alaska Rural Homestead. Well, today we are going to be making a super easy recipe. We are going to be making spicy pumpkin butter, and it's so much fun and so easy to do. I harvested my pumpkins last fall and I had so many pumpkins. I've got pumpkin in the freezer. I've got canned pumpkin. Certainly use canned pumpkin for this, but you want to make sure that you don't use the pie pumpkin. You want to use the solid packed pumpkin. But today we're going to be using my own French pumpkin. And last night I went ahead and just baked my pumpkins, de-seeded them. Really super and easy to puree and make your own pumpkin puree. So I went ahead and started straining my pumpkins and got most of the juice out. And so now we are going to get the rest of our ingredients together and get started. And if you guys have not subscribed to our channel yet, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can be notified when we have new videos out. So for this recipe, we're going to need 4 cups of pumpkin, and then we're going to be using 3/4 a cup of apple juice, and we're going to be using 1/2 cup of apple cider. Guys, so now that we got the pumpkin blended up, we got our apple cider in there, we got our apple juice. Now we need to go ahead and get our brown sugar in. We are going to need 1 1/4 cups of brown sugar. Pack that down a little bit. Now we're also going to be using 1/2 cup of honey. This is honey from our own hives, which is even better. This is going to be so delicious. There's so many things that you can do with pumpkin butter, just like, it's kind of just like applesauce. You can do so many things with it. Now we need 2 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And I will leave this recipe down in the comments below so you guys can make some yourself, because it is super delicious. Now we're going to need a half a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to need nutmeg. I am using 1.5 teaspoons of nutmeg. Now we're also using cinnamon. Let's get our cinnamon. And we're using 1.5 teaspoons of this also. Now, we're using 1 teaspoon of ginger. And we're using 1 teaspoon of cloves. And we are using 1 teaspoon of cardamom. Now we're going to go ahead and put this on medium heat for about 15 or 20 minutes. Just till it starts thickening up. Now, just kind of be careful of this because it will splat at you. So just continuously stir this to medium to low heat. And we're just going to let this thicken and condense down. And while this is warming up, I'm going to go ahead and get my jars ready. As this cooks down, it's going to get darker. So you'll see it turning a darker color. Be extra careful when you guys are making this pumpkin butter because it will splat up and it will burn you. So we're just trying to render it down right now and get most of that liquid cooked off, because we will be doing a water bath canner with this. Now, they do say that you should not can pumpkin butter, but I've canned it before and never had any problems. Now, you definitely want to be careful if you're going to be canning and just make sure that you are checking your seals really good after your jars cool. See, that's really starting to thicken up right now. Almost like an applesauce. Okay, so I got my water heating up for my water bath, and I've got my jars over here, nice and sterilized. If you wanted it sweeter, you could definitely add more sugar. But I try to stay on the low sugar side just because my husband is a diabetic. So I don't like to use a lot of sugar, and I try to use honey when I can because honey does not spike your sugar levels like regular sugar does. Okay, so one of the secret ingredients is butter. That's just something my grandma taught me. You just add a little bit of regular butter. Now it looks like it's thick enough. And we're going to leave a 1/2 inch headspace on this too. As I'm scraping down the sides, I'm getting the air bubbles out. Wipe these rims. And we're just putting it finger tight. Now we want at least about 1 inch or 2 of water to cover our jars. All right, I'm gonna get this boiling and we're gonna process it for about 15 or 20 minutes. Well, we've had it going for 20 minutes in the water bath canner. We're just gonna let the jars set here while they cool. And you definitely want to make sure that you check your jars as soon as they're cooled if you're not sure if they sealed or not. Hey guys, we're back and my pumpkin butter is completely done and cooled, and I'm just checking to make sure all the seals sealed really good, and I kind of loosen these bands, that way I can tell if the seal breaks or anything like that. And so these will store for a couple months as long as they stay sealed. Once the seal breaks, obviously it's no good, and you probably ought to just toss it out to be on the safe side. And stay tuned for more videos on growing great winter squash and pumpkins on our homestead. Bye now.